Here at the park in central Kabul, Afghans come to picnic and play cricket. Meters away, others consume drugs, heroin and methamphetamine. Rahimullah has been using heroin for 20 years.
A lot of people become addicts because they don't have jobs. There are no jobs for people. People have their problems, and this country went through a war.
He survives by selling recyclables found in the rubbish. His home is this park. His family lives somewhere else.
I wish that I could get rid of this addiction. I wish I could go home to my wife and kids. How much longer will I be homeless?
Residents of the city complain that open-air drug use has become a common sight in recent years. Addicts and doctors say a collapsing economy, decades of war, and the fact that Afghanistan produces close to 90% of the world's opium could explain the sky-high rates of addiction. Now that the Taliban are in charge of Afghanistan, they're tackling the problem with force.
Afghanistan is going through a drugs crisis. There could be millions of addicts in this country. The new government's solution is to bring those addicts here, to the country's largest rehabilitation center.
The patients line up for their lunch. Over the winter, the Taliban rounded up thousands of drug addicts living on the street, forcibly detaining them here at the Ibn Sina Center for Drug Addiction Treatment. Today, a drug rehab center, once it was a US military base, Camp Phoenix. The Taliban say they are combating a problem left to fester and grow by previous governments.
When the Americans came and started destroying our country, people were tormented. One consequence was that the number of addicts rose to 3 million.
Some patients complained that their treatment was supposed to last 45 days, yet 3 months later they're still here, detained against their will. The center says that it will only release people to their families, so they won't return to the streets. The center is meant for 1,000 people, but there are close to 3,000 patients here. Staff say they haven't been paid in months. Patients say there's not enough to eat. Some come voluntarily. Jawad is married with 5 children and has been addicted for 17 years. His head is shaved to avoid any lice infestation.
The country is in a bad way. There is no work unless you go and steal or kill someone. I want someone to see that I am a good person, that I should live among people like a normal human. Before I lived like an animal, living under the bridge. I prefer to die to continue like that. Taking drugs is easy, but quitting is difficult.
He hopes that in 45 days, he'll be a man free of his addiction. Toby Muse reporting for CGTN, Kabul.